What's going on, everybody? It's your man Tenta back on this channel for the first time in a good minute. People get busy, I had to go MIA for a little bit, but I'm back now in case my 8 subscribers were wondering. Another thing, good amount of you might be from Twitter, since that's why I primarily put this video out there. So voice reveal, I guess, if that even matters, but yeah. Anyways, today's video is going to be a bit different from the last 2 or 3 I've done on the channel for 3 reasons. 1, wanted to try something different. 2, I don't really want my channel to be focused on one specific thing, like making beats or gaming, rather than a bunch of my interests. And 3, generally, I didn't feel like I'd be doing this manhwa or Webtoon justice without raving about how godly it is. That said, before I do get into the video, real quick shout out to the boy @HeroAnime on Twitter. Known him for a bit, he's a real good friend of mine, both on Twitter and IRL. And if not for him recommending this to me, I wouldn't be here feeling the need to rave about how great it is in this vid. So do him a favor and toss him a follow. If you could, we'd both really appreciate it. He's not all that active on Twitter, I'm gonna be honest, but when he is, he definitely puts out some quality content and banger recommendations. So again, highly recommend tossing him a follow, but without further ado, let's hop into the topic of this video. It's no surprise to anyone that there are tons of different manga out there, countless different reads for countless different people. But if I were to say that that was the gist of how deep it all goes, it'd be a huge understatement. Each of these stories that these creators or mangaka make have all sorts of different charms. And with so many stories out there, there's bound to be some form of generic concept or even something that hasn't been done in the history of manga, cementing it as one of the greatest. In a way, it's sort of like a scale. The best way I have to put this is by taking manga like My Hero or Black Clover, for example. Not to say that they're completely generic, of course, seeing as they have moments and concepts that are completely unique to them and only them, believe it or not. But more to say, the main goal of it all, the main character becoming the top dog, is something we've seen in many anime before. In contrast, you have anime like Attack on Titan and Dr. Stone, which have from the get-go had main characters with unique goals, placed in unique situations, given unique development, so on and so forth. And so the webtoon we're talking about today is sort of special, no pun intended, in the placement of itself on that scale. Without getting into too many details to avoid spoilers, obviously, from the first chapter, it does pretty well to stick with this tempo. Even 20 chapters in, you can still see inspiration from different works, but it's hardly a bad thing with how individualistic it can be. I almost feel as if I could recommend this story to anyone because there's enough similarity for a person to be familiar with, but it also delves into new and interesting plots that can hook readers wanting to get a read of something new. Now clearly this isn't the only manga that uses this formula. As I mentioned before, there are countless different manga out there, and one of them is bound to do things in a similar fashion to how things are done here. Nevertheless, I feel it was important to bring up how well it is executed in this story. Now that I've told you what makes this story so special, you're probably wondering, so what is it that gives this story its individuality and its similarity at the same time? And the answer is pretty simple: the characters in the story. You'll see many familiar characters, familiar personalities, and familiar situations, and at the same time you'll see really unique characters, really unique personalities, and really unique situations. In that sense, you have a lot of potential with the cast in different arcs. Not to mention that it all revolves around a relatable main character with a very unique goal. In the end, as I said before, it makes the perfect middle ground for a story and readers to get behind. That's because it's not generic to the point that it drives them away, but not too unique and complex of a story that it becomes pretty jarring. It's tough but true that a lot of anime and manga suffer from this. People who watch mostly shonen will sometimes end up calling a piece of fiction like Attack on Titan bad because its story is too complex for them and they expect more of an uplifting tone that is given by a shonen. The same applies and vice versa for seinen readers and watchers towards shonen. But because a Returners Magic has this great placement, it's hard to be driven away by it. So this brings us to the end of the video. In conclusion, I guess all I really have to say about the webtoon is that it's a great read and that it has something for everyone. That's what it seems like, at least from what I read and how unbiased I tried to be while reading it. If you do decide to pick it up, go ahead and let me know in the comments, or even check it out first and come back to let me know what you thought of it. If you liked the video, go ahead and toss a like. But more than that, what I would appreciate more than that is a comment to let me know how I did. Liking the vid is completely up to you guys, but a comment is what I would really love, because it lets me know how I did, if you guys liked it, and it lets me understand that all my hard work paid off, because I did work pretty hard on this vid. I made new channel art, a new intro, etc. So your words would definitely not go unnoticed. Anyways, that's it for this vid. This has been Tensa, vibing out.
I'm making fucking mac and cheese, and nobody can stop